Hello everybody, welcome back to RITCH Talks. I'm Mitch.
I'm Rob.
Today we're talking about the pressures of social media and what it does to the effect of you trying new things. So Rob, do you think social media affects people from trying new things because they're just seeing the perfection of every single craft that they might even attempt to try? What do you reckon?
Yeah, 100%. I'll start off with a story of how it can relate to people back when social media wasn't a thing. So again, me being a boomer, growing up in a time that social media wasn't around as much as it is now, that everything was more localized. Everything was your immediate audience, your immediate friend group, and that was your perceived level of where you're at.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, you've got the comparison of everyone around you, and that is now on a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be such a harsh reality in that you might not be as good as you think you are, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the example would be, okay, I got picked quite a lot for sports day events. I was good at running. So one of the best in my class at running, a group of 30 people in the class, so from primary school times. And I was often picked amongst the top 3 people in the class to be in the running team or whatnot, to go against the other houses. And if anything, that reinforced the belief that I was good at something. So it only pushed me towards doing that more and more and more as a hobby, which ultimately led me to be more involved in more sports and things like that. So my experience over time grew.
Mm-hmm.
But in an alternate universe, if I had been picked, right, but then I posted on social media and I was like, for a 1 mile run, I did 7 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good time for an average person, right? If they would go out to do it, but not on a global scale. It's very poor time.
Yeah.
And if that was the feedback that I got at that time, I probably wouldn't have carried on doing, the running events that I'd been doing if I'd got such negative feedback from people. So it does matter who you've got as your surrounding and what they're giving you, what information they're providing you, and the feedback from whatever hobby you're going into.
Do we caveat this with comparison is the thief of joy? So we will obviously say, if you are a person who completely is void of comparing yourself to others because you're so focused on yourself, fine. This episode is probably not for you. But if you're, say for instance, like, I don't know, you're the big guy in a gym group. Yeah, you go to a gym group, you're like, fuck, I'm wedged. Then you go to like a big old beefy, I don't know, like muscly beach gym. You're probably like, oh shit, man, maybe I'm not that big. But like you globalize that on social media. It's like, oh shit, I'm actually nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like comparing that to your run thing. It's like I used to be in year 6 pretty sick at badminton. I was like, fuck. Even though I was a little chubby little bunny, I was like running around, my big old chubby cheeks running about, like hitting the racket. But like overall, it's like I was sick for like my local level. But if social media was around then, like on the same scale it was now, then I'd probably think, man, you're shit at badminton. So it's like, but we've got a caveat with comparisons of FIFA joy. So
it is, and that has a knock-on effect. So that's just the first stages, is the thief of joy. But then comes other things, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Right? You get that massive sense of fear of failure in everything you do. It won't just become that, one next hobby that you're going to try. It will have a knock-on effect in everything you're doing. The thought that you're inadequate, that you're not good enough to even try something, and you have to be up here before you try, because there's that comparison. You're seeing everyone's highlight reel. You're seeing what everyone is showing you at their best online, because everyone wants to be the best version of themselves. But the people that have already made it, you're seeing them up there. And if you don't feel like you can instantly relate to the level that they're on, there's that inadequacy that you're going to start to feel straight away before you've even started. So before you've even put, pen to paper or, foot to the track or whatever it is, whatever you're doing, you'll stop at that point before you take the step of action.
No, this is true, man. Like, but again, I feel like we have to, if someone's watching this episode and thinking, okay, well, it's all right we're saying this, but how do we solve this? I'm kind of like, is the foundation level of solving this, you have to be able to compare yourself to yourself and that's it? Like, is that the fundamental answer to fixing this question, do you think?
I think that's definitely the first steps, because the only person you can compare yourself to is yourself. If you're comparing yourself to someone else, or again, like we touched on the last episode, everyone starts on a different level playing field, whether it's genetics or again, like the last episode. And if not, go back and watch that one to know what we're talking about. But if not, it might be finances. Someone else might be in a better financial position where the family are able to give them better equipment, better badminton racket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also...
No, it's true. Like, because the thing is, you don't want to rob yourself of many mini victories you can have in life, because there's so many mini ones you can like elaborate on. You can feel great about yourself. Let's say, for instance, you're working full time and you're making £22,000 a year. Okay, you get a promotion and you go to £39,000 a year. Okay, if you just look on social media and you see, fuck, I've not got 7 figures in a Lamborghini, then all of a sudden you're probably, if you compare yourself to that person, you're going to think, shit, but you're running your own race and your salary's just almost doubled. So why wouldn't you be proud of yourself? Like, if you're running a 5K time at 37 minutes and all of a sudden you get that down to sub 30, yeah, that's like on global scale, not a great time, but why can't you be proud of yourself? A sub 30-minute 5K is probably someone out there thinking, fuck me, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, in what world, like, where do we get to it? What's the happy medium here? Because obviously you probably want a point of motivation, which is going to be the top of the top, the cream of the crop, but you don't want to compare yourself to them. So what do you think the happy medium ground for all this should be?
Well, firstly, society needs to change. There's the main thing. So there's societal pressures that you're getting from that point. And then there's the individual's perspective, right? We can't now create societal change. Society has to change as a whole. So collectively, if the more and more people start thinking like this, society starts to change. Whereas on an individual scale, we can impact what we are doing. So as long as we can start gaining traction and confidence in what we are doing. So like what you're saying, be mindful that, okay, I've just taken my 35-minute 5K to 30-minute 5K. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Start to be happy with your accomplishments and start ticking off little things that you want to progress in. And put that a whole scale across your life, and whether it is the career, okay, I've just taken my salary up by a couple of K, and then I've increased my 5K time to 30 minutes. Well, there's 2 things that you can instantly be proud of, but social media can instantly shoot both of those down. So it's the detox you can take away from it. So you can take away the social media effect by not having it in the first place. Localizing yourself rather than globalizing yourself. And I think that's a good step to take.
So do we think, sorry to interrupt you, Robert, do we think, so do you know, we say society has to change on a whole level for the effects of social media to stop affecting as many people. Like, is there, in your opinion, a way that we can teach people to individualize their accomplishments? Is there a way which would work for most people that we can say to them, right, how do we push that message of individualize your accomplishments? Don't compare yourself. How do you think, on a mass scale, get that message across? Because it's a loaded question, but
it is.
I figured I'll ask it anyway. Because in what way do we societize? I'm not even sure that's a real word, but do we
make it a word?
Yeah, we'll make it a word. We fucking trademark. Do we? What way do we? How do we societize the individuality aspect? Because you don't want to. You want to be. Compare yourself to yourself, but you don't want to lose like a community feel of something. So you do want to have that medium ground again, where you're still part of a community, but you want to compare yourself to yourself.
Okay, I've got a kind of an answer to it.
Go on.
But you can still have the sense of community. You can still have the sense of reward from your environment without social media. So if you're posting things and you're hoping for the likes, you're only doing that for the social media reward that you're getting and the dopamine effect from getting likes. So it touches back on the dopamine episode as well, but you're not doing it for to better yourself. If you're looking to improve the way you are and the way you do things and have action and take action, then take yourself away from social media. Go and find a running club. Go and find a book club. Go and find all the people that want the same thing as you. That are willing to give you feedback in person, give you positive reinforcement to what you're doing, give you tips and advice, because you might find mentorship in that, or someone just slightly older who might be able to tell you what they did, mistakes that they made. And all of that is a sense of community in person, that you're going to get everything that you want from social media, but in reality. Everything that we try and get from social media isn't reality. This is fantasy that we're living in hope that it gives us the reality.
So again, that's a very good point, because again, you touch on everything bases in roots in real life. Everything touches on the basis of you're in your community. You've got a mentor. You're living a life that is fulfilling because you've localized your life. Is the answer to grand scale individualization to the point where you can just compare yourself to yourself the abolishing of social media? Because it's like, obviously it's a massive tool where so many people can make so much money, but it's also, I don't know how else to put this, given the rise to useless cunts. Like, there's so many people who are useless twats that are making lots of money on social media, and it's like, okay, you used to have to be a well-off individual. You have to provide society with value.
Yeah, and these people are, like you say, are doing that with less integrity than you.
Yes.
Possibly less skills, possibly less qualifications, and just those three are what previously we were wanted in characteristics from that person being at the top to have. Whereas now you don't have to. So anyone can make it on social media, right? Yeah. Whereas in person, right, when you're sitting next to each other, when you're facing the person, if you had those three traits, people would sniff you out.
Yeah, more
so
respect.
if you're able to work on the individual skills that you need to be liked amongst a group, but liked naturally. It's not forced liked. It's not creating a cool video and having, again, a highlight reel for people to go, wow, that's cool, but not really know the real you.
You need to become someone that people want to be around.
That's why at the moment there's a rise in people liking long form video, because they're getting the reinforcement of knowing the person. We've now put out 11 episodes, right? Yeah. So the people can go through and watch hours now of us and how we interact, how we like to live as people, because we put what we know about us. So people can start gathering information. Okay, these people align with what I want to be like. Whereas if I watch a 30-second video on you and I hadn't seen anything beforehand, but the video is really cool, it's got really cool editing, and you feature in it, like that everything's about you, I don't know you.
No.
So I can watch multiple clips about that. You can have 100, 1,000 clips exactly like I've just said, 30 seconds each time, and I'll still never really get to know you.
It's true.
Or people will consume more long form content because they want the social proofing and the trust, because there's so much out there now to choose from. You don't know who to trust. So it's not about being the best straight away.
No,
it's about sticking to what you like, sticking to what you know, and you keep doing it. You work on that small, like 1% is what you hear nowadays. We just work on 1%, just being a little bit better, or being better than you were yesterday. So turning that 35-minute into a 30-minute 5K, turning that 30-minute into a 29, and you carry on going until you get to where you want to be. And that might be in the elite level. And that is how you start. Whereas people want to go from a 35-minute 5K to a 14-minute, close to a world record. And from that gap, they see that as too far ahead. It's like building a pyramid from scratch. Well, if they haven't got the tools to do that, haven't got the knowledge to do that, how do they think they can just get straight to the top? So yes, it's about coming away from social media and learning what you want to do first, building the blocks first, and then using social media for what it was. It's a tool to connect with more people and show them what you've got. It is, in essence, a highlight reel, but actually it was made as a photo album. Originally, it was what you get out and show people, oh, this is what we did last year. Oh, that's cool. Let me keep on doing that because that was fun. And now it's become a comparison because everyone's showing their cool stuff and you're able to see it and going, fuck, I didn't do that. My butlins now is shit comparison to that person going to Disneyland Paris. Whereas that butlins, they had the best time of their life that time. That could still be fun.
Rob, you raised a brilliant point. You raised so many points about social media that it almost, I think it's a damning measurement on society nowadays that a very skilled doctor could look at a social media influencer and think, fuck, I haven't got what he has in life. Do you not think that's a damning representation of society? Of that, like we might, for the societal reset we talk about, we might actually have to abolish this, because if we've got, well, again, obviously it's never going to happen, but for the detox of dopamine, for the reset of what we value, social media might has skewed that so much that we now, as I say, we now have a place where someone who's a firefighter who actually offers their community something marvelous, something that actually gives back to where they are, can now look at unknown. Let's go. I don't know, fucking what's his name, Justin Waller on fucking on YouTube, the fucking steel company guy, and think, fuck, I haven't got what he got. And actually, that's probably a bad example, because he put up steel buildings for like 10 years. So that's a bad example. Who's the use of social media? Fucking, I don't know, I Show Speed. You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
Or you're like, what he does is just an in real life streamer. So it's like, someone could look at his wealth package and think, who is like a firefighter, and think, fuck, I want to be like I Show Speed. When in any other period of history, the character of social media would be looking at the firefighter thinking, fuck, why haven't I got what he got? Why aren't I a pillar of my community? So is the answer for the societal reset? I don't know how with social media we can reset society.
I don't think anyone will know, unless a miracle happened where everything's shut down for however long. It would have been great for a period of time, so a bit like COVID, where we weren't allowed out. But I'm not saying that
never going to happen fucking again.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's going to happen. But if everyone was allowed out still, but what was restricted was all social media. It was just like a blackout.
Mm-hmm.
And China do it. They put blocks on certain like social media. I think when I went to China, you couldn't access like Facebook or Instagram or something. I can't remember what app I was trying to access, but you couldn't access it. And you was like, what is going on? Why can't I access it? It was blocked on a global, not global scale,
national level.
National level. And if that can happen with something in one country, why can't it happen everywhere for a period of time? This month, like dry January, we're going to do dry social media.
I think that will cause a revolt, though, because I truly think the one thing that's scarier than the effect social media has on society is like a complete dictatorship.
It's a fancy as well, because
it's quite tough.
It is a fancy because lots of small businesses in general run off social media now. So we've kind of
we're too far deep, aren't we?
Yeah, we've
too far gone, man.
We've built the life that we're living, and we just have to,
so there's
reap the rewards or the demise.
So but with the dangers, we're also, humans are having shorter attention spans. So they are getting dumber. Where do you see society in 50 years' time if this continues to be the trend?
We'll have AI doing a lot of the stuff. It'll be so heavily involved. I don't think any of us can comprehend where it's going, and I don't even think where we think it will go now. I don't think will be the reality. It will be something completely different, because we don't even know the extent of what AI can give us. So in that time, something will have changed. But it's like, okay, going back 30 years ago, if you said that you could have this iPhone that's got 100 times the power of the computer that that you'd first seen, you'd be like, no, that's crazy. You can have it in your pocket, this big, and it's like, it's the most powerful thing. Contact anyone, you can see what they're doing. Within seconds, you can find out information. You would never have been able to comprehend that. So now, we know technology has evolved, but it's only evolved to the level that we've evolved it to right now. There's technologies being made, and
it's
advancing. It's very dangerous, and I just think it's a downfall of humanity to some degree, which is why I think doing a backward step isn't bad. I think it would actually be going backwards to go forwards.
Yeah.
And having the sense of community, but now in a localized environment where you can immediately have impact, immediately have value on the people of your surroundings, rather than the perceived value that you're trying to give on something that you're not getting a return of time for.
God, man, that's such a good point, because it's just like it's just so frightening to me, because quite frankly, like the rise of AI, obviously we can't comprehend where it's going to go, but it's going to diminish human competence even more. And I already am noticing, I'm not sure if you notice it, the deterioration of social skills in younger people nowadays is almost quite frightening. It's like, yeah, you're all right, you're all right, and it's just like they're even like, just, oh man, it's just,
But see,
it's so
come with
fucking
it. So
concerning.
it's the
So
lack of
concerning.
confidence, the lack of motivation.
But they don't have
the
to be motivated or competent, because
lack of willingness to try, lack of willingness to self-improve. Because what's the point if I'm not going to be the best at it? What is the point? And this is the kind of the point that I'm trying to make, that there is a point. When you started off in everything, you have to try and make it fun. And if you only got to watch children, without being creepy on this, but you only got to watch children,
Yeah.
what they do when they don't have anything, they make little games, they get creative. If you give them an empty room, they will find something fun to do. They will be creative within their environment. Whereas nowadays, with people in an empty room, they get bored. They're like, where's my phone? Because my phone will take away this boredom. And that's the thing that they will look for and think of before they think of anything else. And if you can get back the creativity, the actual ability to have your own thought process and be creative again, I think is a major issue that we're experiencing, because that is now a lost art.
Because humans are getting dumber, as we know, and as they're getting dumber, the creativity part of society is going to go down, simply because, again, AI is doing all the work.
Yeah, we just don't need to do those things. And it's like copywriting. Now there's no need to sort of learn words in a dictionary or go and look in the thesaurus and find alternative words for words that you're using. Let's just ask ChatGPT.
Ask Grok.
And emails as well. Rather than thinking about how to lay out the email and having that as a skill, let me just type in a load of jumble words and then ask that to do it for us. This all is time saving. So yes, I use it, but I still like to learn the skill first in order to get more out of AI. If you learn a skill first and you still take time to lay it out properly, and then you utilize AI, I definitely think it's a tool. So I'm not saying, I'm not being hypocritical here. I use AI. I think you need to use AI in order to get with the times, because it's like everyone that didn't jump on the bandwagon with phones. If you didn't use phones, well, you couldn't really keep up with today's technology.
Okay, let me ask you this: if I gave you a button to abolish AI, would you press it? Because I absolutely would. I think it's for the society, for the human race. I think it's important.
Yeah, I would go one step further, and I'd probably abolish the internet to some degree.
You abolish the internet?
I think I would. Yeah.
Man,
and just because I'm an in-person person.
Yeah.
I'm a people person, very personable, and that's kind of the approach I like to take with people. Again, if you said to me, let's do this podcast, and we were doing it over a computer screen just because it's time saving and we could have this, hold the exact same podcast, the same conversation, but now there's a computer screen in between us, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no.
And sitting here with you now, you're getting something from it, and it's something that we look back on, you go, oh, that was good times. And you don't really have the same effect when that Zoom meeting we had online. People don't remember that stuff. Remember that meeting in person when you did crazy, cool, creative stuff and played some games and stuff. You remember that more than you'd ever remember sitting behind a computer screen. So if
this is why social media is dangerous, man.
If everything was kept the same,
that's why it's dangerous.
The same sort of interactions, but one was behind a computer screen. There's one you're going to remember because you have a feeling towards it as well.
Mm.
That is also something that you can't really explain and you can't really define into a word or a sentence. I don't think so. It's the embodied feeling of having someone next to you, feeling the energy, and it's going down like a spiritual wave.
No, because you've lost human connection.
Everything's energy, right? And there's energy from the person that you're sitting next to you, and you're not getting that from static.
No, you've hit the nail on the head. Like, because of social media, we've lost human connection, and it's dangerous times, and it's going to cause humans keep getting thicker and thicker, and AI will probably eventually take over. And that concerns me, because imagine being the king of the jungle and then being like, fucking fist your own human race and making something that's better than you. It's just so stupid to me. It's so stupid. I'd press your button to abolish AI tomorrow.
Yeah, Elon Musk put it quite wisely. He says that AI won't want to abolish us. It won't be like the Terminator effect. Mm-hmm. It will be like we don't even exist.
But he can't comprehend what AI is going to do.
No, but the way that it was interpreted, if you imagine a colony of ants, millions of ants living underneath my patio, I don't even pay them heed until I see them, and then accidentally might step on one, right? So it'll be like collateral damage. Well, that'll be kind of like AI. They will be so advanced because one AI system is so advanced. And now imagine multiple who can connect to each other instantly. If you and I could connect to each other without even thinking, but you knew exactly what I was thinking at the time I was thinking it, how I felt, everything, and also could access superior information from anywhere that might not be at this time superior, it might be inferior information, but now you can access superior information. Something. Well, imagine how the advancements that we could make with humanity, if you knew what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Well, AI, if they're built into a physical form,
yes, this is the worry.
Which is the next step.
The worry
is then the worry, because you've got two conscious beings who can think for themselves, might have the ability to have a consciousness in their own form, but also be able to instantly connect, instantly have the same thought process, and that's an army. So now imagine military armies, like in human form, if they were able to instantly, as soon as you saw the enemy, I saw the enemy. Well, I'd have to tell you, so that's seconds delay. But if I saw it and you instantly got that information, you could act instantly. Mm-hmm. So that now is a kind of idea into how their civilization will be, as opposed to how us. We are more connected than ever, but more distant than ever, which is a saying that you would have heard before. But if you were actually connected and actually, wanted one thing together, because with humanity, AI might want different things. You might
to fuck us off this
earth.
What
I mean is, AI, from two physical beings, they might not want the same thing, or they might. If AI collectively wants the same thing, and we don't know, because we don't know that. We don't know what that thing would be. For humanity, if you were to put it into one short sentence, what do humans want?
Oh no, that varies from different people.
But collectively, if we could say from the whole sort of species,
resources and family,
so
community and resources to survive.
Yeah,
but AI aren't going to be a survival mechanism. They're going to be a all-conquering. I think they'll probably end up being an all-conquering being,
because they won't need
food.
They won't really need too many resources either.
No,
or they will, but they would just take whatever they can from what. If we need the same resources, well, we're second best.
Well, we're fucked. We're literally fucked. But the only thing that gives me hope is, well, there's one way that humans could, the nuclear effect of getting rid of AI would just be turn the electric off, surely. But if that's not a fit, what if AI advances beyond electricity?
Of course, and because that's also something that's definitely going to happen. There'll be solar powered AI.
Mate, will be. I personally think we might be fucked in 30 years. So we've got to live a good life whilst we can to see what happens with this AI beings.
But let's bring it back round. So with social media,
we've covered it. It's dangerous as fuck.
It is dangerous.
It's dangerous. And we think that for humans to live a better life, localize your life, and don't use this what might eventually become this all-powerful, all-encompassing tool.
But it's trying things and knowing that you're going to suck. You're going to be bad, but that's a necessary process. That's a necessary step that you have to take in order to be good at something. And you have to, once you started, then find out what you're bad at, and then keep doing it until you're good at it. There's just that's the simple process of starting and becoming good at something. It's fucking up, doing things well with positive reinforcement. Okay, that's doing well. Let me keep doing that. Okay, this is not doing well. Do I keep doing it? No, because that means I'm getting worse at it. Okay, let me flip it on its head. Let me find out how to do it better. Now I'm good at something. I positively reinforce by doing something good, and then I'm negatively reinforced by doing something bad. So let me do something good to get that positive. Well, we want that positive reinforcement. That's what we're trying to get from social media. We're trying to get positive reinforcement from people that we don't know, we don't care about, but we want their validation. Get it from the people that are around you that you can in effect. And there's a quote that I recently read, so it's not my own quote. If you won't start today, you won't start tomorrow. So you might as well start today, because a lot of people will say, I'll do that tomorrow. But if you're not willing to start today, you're not willing to start tomorrow.
It's a good way to summarize. Don't let social media ruin your life. Localize your life and you'll feel better. Everybody, I've been Mitch.
I've been Rob.
Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.